Just doing a quick video here on a 5.4 cam phaser, and this is just a bad one just for reference. I'm going to do another video explaining a lot more detail, but if you look, this is the pin, so this would go to your camshaft this direction, bolts through here, and that's where your pin goes. If you look, it's cracked, and that slot, it is worn out from the pin, and normally what causes that is the lack of oil between these vanes, and it just beats up, so it gets a jerk to it, and that impact gets transferred through that pin. So this phaser is definitely shot. Just showing you guys that. Kind of, you can see when I turn that, that's how these work, is oil controls which direction these vanes move to advance or retard the valve timing or cam timing. But basically this is a 5.4 one that is bad. This is one we did a while ago, but just actually had it laying here, so I figured I'd show you guys what a bad one looks like. But there's several different ways these can fail, and I've actually got one of these 5.4s on an engine stand here. We robbed some parts off of this one. This was a bad core engine, so we used the camshafts and such. But this is where your tensioner is going to go. One here, it's fed by oil through that port. One over here, same deal, fed through that port. The tensioners are known to go bad. The phasers are known to go bad. But one of the other things that we like to do is put a Millings oil pump on them at the same time, get the volume up. That tends to help the phasers quite a bit. So there's quite a few different things you can do. You can lock the phasers out, but when they're damaged like this one is, you can't really lock this out because that's so severely damaged. It's got to be replaced to even lock it out. But what seems to work best is to use, there's a couple different ways, but use a Millings pump. Update the tensioners, the guides, the chains, then go ahead and either lock out the phasers or get the second design of the OEM phasers. This engine in particular on the stand here had Dorman phasers on it. Those had actually failed with only about 15,000 miles on them. Some of the other things that you will find in tearing a lot of these down is the camshafts get worn and the lifter followers as well. So not only does the pin cause damage from the phaser, but lack of oil damages the rollers and the lifter followers as well. So really, there's a ton of variables when you start getting phaser noise on these. You got to tear them down to really inspect. Once you inspect them, you can kind of pick the best path for you. But we've done these kind of 3 or 4 different ways and had good results on all of them, but each scenario kind of will tell you which direction you need to go. But even so, change the guides, upgrade the oil pump, update the tensioners, and then you can decide lock out the phasers or go with the second design of the OEM phaser. I'll show you what locking out the phasers does. And again, I'll do another video to explain this a little better, but basically it puts the phaser at a locked position, so you'll have like an aluminum spacer that goes in between, and it'll lock it for it no longer works with the oil control, and then you go ahead and tune the vehicle for that. So you lose the variable valve timing, but you no longer have that failure. But if you were just to lock them out, not upgrade the chains, the guides, the tensioners, you're still gonna have more problems. Same deal with the oil pump. You're gonna wanna do the oil pump, because even if you lock them out, well, what's gonna prevent the lifter followers from wearing or the camshafts? So you've really gotta do a complete repair on these, and that's what we seem to find is honestly almost every one that I've worked on, someone else has worked on at some point. And maybe not all the information was out there when they worked on them, but it's repeated what had happened before because of either not using all the components or not upgrading the oil pump, things like that. But hopefully this information helps you guys. And again, I'll put out some more information. just kind of remembered about it as I had one of those phasers sitting here. So I'm sure actually I do have another one on the books to do. So maybe when I do this next one, I'll show you guys what I find and help explain all this. But honestly and truly, I think these 5.4s are not a bad engine. You've just really got to complete this repair when you do it, and they all are going to do it. At some point or another, you're going to end up putting phasers and chains and oil pump and guides on a 5.4. So if you have a 5.4, it's coming sooner or later. This is just to prevent you having to do it a second time. And I think we've came up with some good solutions there. But again, I'll update you guys when I do this next one. And thanks, hope this helps.